Hi, welcome back, you guys. You just read Company Pranks Its Own Employees. How dare they? How dare they have fun with their employees? So, an Indian company that was once featured in Shark Tank, yes, madam, it's a salon and spa. It offers salon and spa services, nail care, hair care, facial care. They got on the spotlight for becoming one of the most despised companies. So, here's a scenario. So the company sent out some surveys to their employees, asking them to make sure that they let the company know where their grievances are, what's making them stress, how the company can do better. And everybody who filled out one of those surveys got an email back. And this email back said that even though you're one of our deeply valued employees, we are going to have to part ways. Now, if you're like me or like any one of us listening to that, we might think like part ways, that means we are no longer working together. So many people took that at face value and understood that they were being fired. It was a forever vacation, I guess. And then it turns out that they meant it was just a prank, you guys. It's just a prank. It was their way of saying, we're going to give you 6 days of stress relief vacation anytime during the year. You could take it as you need it. So it was their funny way of saying they were going to implement this new form of vacation or paid days off in order to deal with some mental issues, or if just they're not feeling well, but their employees did not take it well. And even if you think about it, if somebody told you that you're fired out of the blue, you might make some pretty scary, rash decisions. And if you were struggling with mental stress, who knows what decisions you could have made. So although this was a prank, as I said, many people didn't like it. And it created a lot of news and a lot of eyes on Yes, Madam. So it makes you think, well, they pulled this kind of stunt in order to pull in views. Now more people know about them. I mean, we're talking about them. So it might be good. I mean, the end result is good, but we also have to stop and think, like, how will this prank affect the others who are getting this prank happen to them, and what are the consequences for these choices? It's interesting. That's an interesting way for a company to play with the employees.
Yeah, right. I'm curious to know whether this email was in English or whether it was in an Indian dialect and has been translated to English, because how it was phrased in the article, as a native speaker, to me, there's no way that language was a joke, or that the employees misinterpreted what the company had said. So I would have been livid, especially as it seems that they sent that email to the people that had replied that they were the most stressed. And just from personal experience, I think that there's no greater stress than money worry. And so if you find yourself in an unstable employment situation, that might tip some people over the edge into doing something dangerous or really affect their mental health, as you said. So if I worked for this company, I really would have been livid.
They'd get another survey.
Yeah, they could have interviewed me on the news reports about this company. I would have had some choice words for them for sure.
Oh, interesting. If you were asked about your stress levels in your current workplace, would you be comfortable answering honestly, yes or no? Why or why not?
As we mentioned in the preview, I actually work for a small company and I really enjoy my job. So I would say 95% of the time I'm very happy-go-lucky. And I think my co-workers can tell that nothing's going on. And then when I am stressed, it becomes very apparent without me needing to tell someone. Usually someone will say, hey, are you all right? Like, you look really stressed, or like you're pale, that kind of thing. And so I really appreciate that, at least for me, someone asks me if I'm okay. I've never gotten to the point with my current company where I felt the need to be like, I'm really on edge because I'm so stressed. Thankfully, before it gets to that point, someone has said, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need some help?" Which I greatly value. But in the past, I've definitely gotten to a breaking point before, for sure. How about you?
Anytime my bosses ask me if anything's, worrying me or stressing me out, I make sure I let them know honestly, 100%. I take that opportunity. I usually don't go myself first to raise a problem unless it's a big issue. But if it's like a lot of little problems, if they come and ask me, it's like, oh, they opened the door.
Yes, they've opened the door for a discussion.
So then I go ahead and take advantage of that. So if there were to be some workplace surveys, I'd make sure that they would know how I feel at that moment. Do you think many companies really retaliate against employees for complaining to HR about workplace problems?
I think that if it's not as anonymous as you think it is, because I imagine that if you have some kind of work relationship with your manager, they know what things that you dislike just from like absorbing the atmosphere in the office. And so if you fill in a survey with specific answers, I think that maybe your manager, if they know you well enough, can pinpoint who answered what. And these days there's a phenomenon of quiet hiring. So if your employer has decided that you are somewhat problematic or you're complaining too much, they will start looking for someone to replace your position before they have made the decision to let you go. And I've also heard of situations where same thing, if they deem you as an employee that is talking too much or complaining too much, they will make your life harder to try to get you to quit rather than them firing you, because obviously if you quit, you lose out on some benefits.
Right.
So I think yes, they can make it difficult for you if it's not as anonymous as they make it out to be.
Right. I agree. They definitely, we're humans.
Yes.
So it's our human nature to hold some kind of grudge, and it comes reflected in how people get treated, who gets invited to some dinners, or who gets some kind of bonuses, how big their bonuses are. I think it's just human nature, and it will culminate in this way. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So, if my company wants to prank us with an extra 6 days free paid vacation days, then please, if you guys are watching, prank me. I'm your #1 target.
And if my company are watching, just give me the days.
Just give the days.
I'm too sensitive for pranks. Just tell me that I can have some extra vacation. Don't do that to me.
Make sure that you read the vocabulary and that you learn it, use it in your day-to-day life, and we'll see you in the next article. Bye.
Despised.
Despised.
Part ways.
Part ways.
Take something at face value.
Take something at face value.
Sack.
Sack.
Pull a stunt.
Pull a stunt.